Hey, what's going on, guys? Josh here for Classic Lead, and this is a hardware review of this beast right here. This is the Sega Genesis Ultimate Portable Game Player from At Games. This beast right here is essentially the evolution of a Sega Nomad at its finest. For those of you who don't remember, the Sega Nomad came out at the end, or shortly after the end, of the Sega Genesis lifespan. It was fading out, and they wanted to do something awesome, and it was a portable Sega Genesis. It actually played full-sized physical Sega Genesis cartridges. It was a portable system, but not very portable in the sense that it would suck down batteries like nobody's business, and you could not carry around a dozen cartridges very easily like you could a Game Boy or Game Gear or other devices similar to those. Now, I say this is the evolution of the Nomad because it plays full Sega Genesis games. It has an SD card slot to play more games. You can see on the box here it says 80 games are built in. Now that's 40 official Sega Genesis games from Sega and Capcom, plus 40 bonus games that are not, I'm just going to be honest, they're not fantastic or amazing, but they're a nice 40 bonus games. Some puzzly things, very phone-type, short burst kind of games. Still, very cool. Very cool to have 40 more games on top of the 40 that came with it, to give you a total combined of 80 games on this beast. On it alone, not mentioning the fact you can slap in an SD card. So, again, we're going to get into that in a sec. But here's the box itself. It's a nice package, very reminiscent of the classic console boxes of yesteryear. Even more so, you can tell by the back. Now, you don't see this on boxes nowadays, on your Xbox or your PlayStation boxes so much, maybe a little bit, but not really, because back then they would advertise all the games you would want to play on that box. So kids would pick up the box, turn around, and be like, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. I can put this in here, and I can play Sonic, and I can play Sonic Knuckles, and I can play Mega Man and Wily Wars, and I can play Street Fighter 2 like 30 times because it came out a cajillion times in different iterations. I can play Alex Kidd, I can play Golden Axe 2, and all these Echo the Dolphin games, and a ton of stuff. Absolutely a ton of stuff. Some of the best of the Sega Genesis library comes preloaded on this device. Okay, now, I'll show you the rest of the packaging. It's pretty simple. Shows you the physical layout of the thing. Says it holds SD cards, rechargeable battery, yada, yada, yada. Let's crank the beast open. Inside the packaging is pretty standard fare. Got this little thing that fell out to protect it. It's nice plastic there, keeping everything safe and secure. If you're ordering it, it's being shipped to you. Here's the portable console itself. Comes with a USB cable. And inside here, I'm not going to pull it out. There is a, watch I will. There's a manual. You toss this to the side. And the manual is pretty basic. You can flip through it here, and what it's going to do is it's just going to talk about a lot of the different games on it. I think all official, everything. All 80 games. It's got controls and stuff for all of them. Nice little addition. A lot of these things you buy and you think it's a cheap knockoff, and no, not this thing. It actually has an instruction manual that tells you how to play all the games. It's a nice little touch, and I think it actually even has a little blurb on each game, Like, let's read here. Find you a good one. Eternal Champions is on here. This is awesome. The little blurb on Eternal Champions. The Eternal Champions are a league of long undead fighters who exist in a netherworld of life nor death. In this strange place they exist for only one thing, combat. And it goes on for like another paragraph. Neat. Nice little touches. Love stuff like that. But what we're here to talk about is this baby right here. This is the console itself. The physical design is really nice. It's very solid feeling. I've had a lot of these multi-game devices, and they feel cheap, frankly, but not this one. This one actually feels like something you would, pay good money for, and I can drop it, and it would not break, and the D-pad's nice. The buttons feel really good and solid. It's a great physical layout, good quality plastic. Only complaint I could make are the buttons are really close together. And that's a nitpick because ultimately to fit it all in a device this small, you got 6 face buttons. They can't be spread out super wide. But for someone like me, I'm not huge, but I've got big enough hands that it's kind of annoying to accidentally hit 2 buttons at once when you don't mean to. But not a big thing, though. Still very nice. D-pad is really cool because it's very much reminiscent of a Saturn pad in a lot of ways, because it's not a flat, 4 directions like Nintendo has copywritten. It's more rounded, so it makes it pretty well for fighting games. Not the best for fighting games, I admit, because the Street Fighter and Eternal Champions aren't as responsive as you would like them to be. But given the fact I'm playing it on here, preloaded, yada yada, it's cool. The rest of the device I'll show you starting at the bottom. Make sure I got it right here. There is a headphone jack right here. Standard headphone jacks will fit in there. And you get your on-off switch. Pretty basic. There is a volume knob. You can roll it up or down. You get your SD card slot right there. Let's see. This is the audio video out. And there's a micro USB over here. And that's a power light. So if I flip it on, this little light turns green, and this thing starts up. So I'm going to show you some basic gameplay of the games that are loaded on the device, and then we'll have a little discussion after the fact. More of a monologue, because you guys aren't technically talking back to me unless you post in the comments below. And by all means, post great comments. Tell me I'm handsome, tell me the device is fantastic, because it is, and I am. Reverse that. So here's what it looks like when you turn it on, and if I sound a little off, please excuse me. I'm standing behind the microphone so I can try to get the screen in here. This is not a fantastic screen. Don't expect a mind-blowing retina display like your iPad. No, this is a really nice basic 4x3, I believe it's a 2.8-inch screen that gets the job done, but I have to turn all the lights out and position ever so carefully to get it on camera. Enough of that, though. That's behind-the-scenes stuff here at Classic Leap. I want to find a cool game to play, and I think to show it off effectively, I'm going to start with... We'll do Streets of Rage. Where's the button I hit? I forget. It's dark! There we go. Gotta hit the start button. So I got the Sega screen showing up. You can see the lights in the webcam on there. Ah, Streets of Rage. Opening intro. It's going to talk about a city that's gone to hell. I'm going to pick one of my guys. One player. Axel. Really nice screen on this thing. I mean, for what it is, like, I can see it perfectly. Very bright. Oops. I think I hit my special. Yep, that was my special. There we go. Yeah, beating up dudes, bad guys, going down. So, that's pretty cool, right? I like that. Here's some Eternal Champions. Yo. There's Xavier, Pendragon. I believe that's his name, and that's the only guy I remember from this game. I think there was a guy named Blade. There's always a guy named Blade. So, just one player, fight, and a contest. Shadow sounds cool. Now this will take advantage of all 6 buttons. Not that I will be doing anything all that effective. I mean, which. This game had a really awesome Sega CD version. It was like Eternal Champions Challenge from the Dark Side or something to that effect. And man, was it great. Not necessarily the best fighting game, it just had so much stuff in it. It just full of secret characters and secret stages, great music, a lot of CG stuff that was pretty new back then. The game is chock full of it. I just got my arse whipped by this circus girl, Jetta. Beat the tar out of me. Alright, let's try it again. Nope. Only they don't put this in the Evo tournaments. You always see them like bringing back Street Fighter and some older games, but never Eternal Champions. Is it not really well respected in that sort of scene, of the competitive video game fighting scene? I can see why, but it's still fun. It comes from a very special time in video games where 2D fighters were plenty, tons of them. It was one of the better ones. Nope. That's enough of me being embarrassed. Let's turn this off. Alright guys, so I showed you some of my very bad gameplay. Not bad in the terms of the games are bad or the device is bad, but just I stink at trying to play on camera, especially trying to position myself in a way where I can record. Very awkward. But don't let my poor skills deter you from this awesome device. It is a really cool device. At Games has made something that's very solid and fantastic and feels really awesome. Anyway, guys, highly recommended. I want to thank you for watching. My name is Josh. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel if you like us over there. If you're watching us on G2PO, make sure to like us over there. Subscribe wherever you're at. Hit us up on the Twitter, the Facebook, on our website, ClassicLeague.com. We're all over the place. And Gaming 2.0, I already mentioned it, G2PO, but mentioning them again because those guys are so awesome. Really like being over there. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm about to get my Eternal Champions on.